Hey everyone, this is Jackson from Ghostu Gamers on IEM Day 5 of CeBIT, and I'm joined by Ocelote, the mid laner for SK Gaming. So how you doing today, man? How are you enjoying the event?
I'm enjoying it so far. I just analyzed the semi-final, which was pretty awesome. So I enjoyed the event so far with the fans and stuff, so yeah.
Well, it's great that you can enjoy the event even though you're out of the tournament and stuff. Recently you were on stage doing the little bad romance thing, so did you have fun with that?
Actually, I got threatened to do it. Like I was forced to do it, but it was very fun, and it was awesome helping a friend like Jared, which he was a little bit in a hole, I would say.
You think you got a pop star career after you finished being a pro gamer?
Not really, not at all.
All right, man. Well, hey, you guys may have dropped out in this, but in the LCS, you guys have been doing really, really well. And we talked at Poland, and you guys said like, yeah, we really have potential with this current lineup. So like, besides just the lineup changes, what kind of discipline did you guys do to yourself so that you could be so good in the LCS and become such a strong team now?
Well, I think individually we are very good right now, and I would say that our training schedule is pretty good as well. We don't train as much, but the time we train, we put a lot of effort into training the right way. We strategize a lot. We put efforts into create good lineups. We put efforts not only just being good individually. So I would say it's a whole thing, you know. Right now we're starting to do the work everybody was doing before, and obviously the results appear.
Awesome. Yeah, we actually talked to Kevin earlier, and he said that you guys have been solo queuing a lot more too because you actually think that maybe your team play was okay, but your individual skill was falling behind. So a lot of professionals I've talked to today have been sharing this opinion. What do you feel about maybe like scrimming all the time isn't so good for you, and maybe sometimes solo queue is actually good for mechanics and stuff?
Well, what Kevin probably said is what we said yesterday. We were speaking as a team, and we actually said that obviously we were having a lot of matches in LCS, traveling a lot, going from hotel to hotel, traveling the whole time, just moving, we don't have time to settle down. Sorry, that creates troubles because we have this schedule for the training times, but aside that, we don't have any free time to solo queue as much. Like normally, I would play around 10 solo queue games aside along the pre-med games, but right now I got no time because I'm not living anywhere right now, you know, that's why. So it's a little bit of a wrong thing saying that our individual skill is not the right one. It's more like at this right moment, we are not allowed to train in solo queue as much. So we obviously are a little bit behind individual skill-wise. But I mean, we didn't get worse from one day to another. We are very good. We're one of the best at each role. So everything is gonna come along.
Now, how do you feel about the LCS compared to how the tournaments used to be set up? Now in the LCS, you guys kind of have your predetermined matches you get to study, and do you feel kind of like... Anyway, yeah, of course, cool guy. But do you guys feel like teams that are in these international tournaments now have an advantage against you since they have time to study against you guys, and maybe like you guys don't have as much time to study them because you're so prepared with LCS matches? Like, does that really interfere with international tournaments?
Well, it does. Like, for instance, Annexis, Meteor Makers, Millennium, those guys have been watching our games in LCS all over. Like, they don't really have to train for anything else than IEM Grand Finals or whatever tournament they play, whenever. So at the end, we don't know anything about them, and they know everything about us. And we don't train for this particular tournament, but we train for LCS, and they do train for this particular tournament. So at the end, it's all or nothing. And even though I'm very happy with the situation of having to play a lot of tournaments here and there, the individual skill gets damaged a little bit in this period of time of 1-2 weeks where we have a lot of tournaments, matches of going on. There is no training behind. So of course, I would like to have a little bit more time to train, but at the end, I'm living a dream. So as many tournaments, I would like to play as many tournaments as I can.
So it's safe to say you're actually kind of enjoying the LCS. A few other players have told me that the environment is a little more relaxing because there's not as much pressure from the crowd, and like it feels a lot more like family-like. But if there's anything you could do to like change it or improve it, what would you do to the LCS?
Well, if it was up to me, we would play every single day in a stadium, in a football stadium or something, or a basketball stadium full of people, because I love it. So I think we're gonna get there eventually.
So do you actually enjoy the pressure and think you play better around an audience than without one?
Hell yeah, like 100%. I think the way, not only me, I would say, like there are some other players that actually benefit from the pressure. Not many though, but in other games, especially StarCraft 2, many people benefit from the pressure. And in League of Legends, luckily I'm one of them, so I really like having a lot of people in front of me waiting for me to do something good. Normally, when I don't have that people, I tend to throw, I tend to do stuff, greedy stuff, in game.
Now, I know your schedule is very hectic, but whenever you guys aren't playing League of Legends and stuff, is there anything you guys do as a team to relax and kind of have fun with each other?
Well, I like reading books, so I kind of like being every now and then alone, like 2 hours or something, and just read a book. I like listening to this mountains music, like very relaxing. And I don't know, I like when I'm not training with a team or when I'm not doing something with a team, I like being alone. It's just, enjoying the chillness.
So we got Blaze versus Frost in the finals here. Who do you think's the better team going into this? I think a lot of people think that Frost is, but Blaze has actually been playing really well lately in international tournaments too. So what do you think?
Well, I said already yesterday that before the semifinals that I thought Frost would win the whole tournament. I think they're the stronger team, but Blaze is not far behind. I mean, they train against each other for quite long already. At the end, it's gonna be a matter of 1%, 2% of the whole. How is it called? The way they play,
Now with so many.
Holy shit! 1% or 2% of the whole performance.
All right. Now, with how many games you play in LCS, it's crazy how many games you're playing with other teams on a professional level and scrimming and stuff, and just playing in the LCS. So, by the end of the year, do you think that all this LCS training will put like Europe and the Asian nations kind of like on the same level playing field and like equally as skilled, or do you think we're actually kind of approaching that already?
Well, I don't know if Europe is gonna catch up. I don't know if NA is gonna catch up towards Korea, but we will catch up. And that's all I can say, that my team SK is going to look up to the Korean teams because they are the better team, especially against look up to Frost. They are probably the ones that have the most fresh ideas. Maybe not the best team of the world, but they got the most fresh ideas, and that's what we need to learn. We need to learn how to strategize better. We need to learn how to make better lineups. At the end, they are the pioneers, and if something works, copy it.
Now, another thing between the regions, a lot of the teams that used to not play as much as maybe the Asian teams, actually pretty much every region is now playing the exact same amount and scrimming and pretty much dedicating their entire day to League of Legends. But the Asian teams obviously have like coaches and management and stuff. Do you think this is something European teams need to invest into, or do you think you guys can still perform on the same level without coaches and all this stuff?
I think coaches are really needed. And maybe not needed, but you notice the difference when you have a really good one. But in Europe, I cannot find that person. In Europe, I would love to have that guy, that coach, that actually tell us this or that strategy, this or that pick, you go bottom because this or that. And I don't know who can be that person. Like, if I would find it, I would just get him for my team right away. It's really important in my eyes, but we don't have it.
Now, outside of just like practicing a lot to get good at the game and stuff, how much do you think other outside factors affect your performance? Like, maybe not emotionally, but like being physically fit and like active and like, getting a good night's sleep and stuff. How much does that affect your performance before a tournament? Like, how noticeable of a performance difference is that?
Well, I noticed that when I eat a lot of hamburgers, McDonald's, and fast food, I play worse and I feel worse. And when I stop going to the gym for quite a while, I stop playing worse as well. When I don't sleep properly, I just cannot play literally. So at the end, having there was one sentence called that said "mente sana, corpore sano," which means healthy mind. Healthy mind, healthy body.
Now, having played the game for so many years, like since way back in the day, what do you think is like a common mistake a lot of AP mids, even at the higher elos of play, make that like you always notice, or maybe even anybody, like even junglers or something? What's like one of the biggest common mistakes you see people make that hasn't been fixed really, that you think people should like work on?
Again, please.
Like, what's the common mistake you see like in solo queue that a lot of people make that they should probably fix, that you see like almost all the time, but even in high elo a lot of people don't do properly, do you think?
Well, I think people cares too much about KDA and being 6-0, 6 or whatever, than actually being useful for the team. You can end the game 1-0-0, but if you were not useful at all for your team, then you did a shitty game. Even though your KDA was fine enough, 1-0-0, but you might end the game 2-6, 12 or something, and maybe you've done a pretty perfect game, baiting them to use all your ultis on you, and then use Sonias or whatever. You keep, I don't know, being with the other opponent carries or something. I don't know really, and people actually tend to. I don't know if they don't understand or they tend to forget that KDA or stats are honestly bullshit. The most important thing is that what you see in a team fight, what you see in a game. Why this guy is 0-3 but is creating so much pressure in the map? Why is this guy maybe dying in every team fight but he's actually with the opponent carries like during, I don't know, 20 seconds, you know? People have to see that, and people actually tend to ignore it.
Now you guys have been super busy with IEM and also with, you know, the Super Week, like straight in a row. I mean, you guys really haven't much time, like you said, to solo queue and whatnot. But when can your fans start seeing you stream again? I know a lot of them have been missing you stream, and I noticed like Facebook comments and stuff like stream all say. So like, when can they see you start doing that again? When do you think the next time you'll be able to do that?
I think in less than a week I will be able to stream again, and actually I'm looking forward because I really miss it, man. I really miss it. It's just, I mean, it's really you go. It's really overheating, you know. It really it burns you out at the end. But when you don't have it, you feel like you need to stream, you know.
All right, man. Thank you for all the answers. Anything you want to say to fans or sponsors, or just like any shout outs in general, maybe to family or whatnot, before we close this interview out?
Well, people is just so bored of me saying the same, but I will keep saying it even if I get bashed to death. Thank you very much to all the fans, because without you there is no tournament, there is no this guy, there is no me. And thank you to the CeBIT, which actually helps me a lot. It's not only that I'm their testimonial or whatever. They actually help me a lot. They put a lot of efforts into esports and a lot of efforts into working along me. And Girata for until now, making sure that we are able to train the right way.
All right, guys, that was Ocelote from SK Gaming. Thank you for the awesome answers, and we'll be bringing you guys more interviews and live coverage here at IEM CeBIT. Stay tuned.